Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Friday night edition of Not Another Rangers podcast. I was about to say that Rick Scott will be joining us shortly. His wife was giving him 50 pences for his Wi-Fi, but he's back just in time for the starting. Well done. That was a quick rush about there, Scott, to get yourself sorted. So welcome to tonight's episode. I'm your host, Gary, and football's well and truly back, isn't it? So the Champions League starting, qualifiers, the domestic season kicks off tomorrow. There's been signings, there's been players going out. It's all been happening this week, and we were on 4 days ago, but it seems like a lifetime ago already. It's been lots happening, and we will cover it all in the space of the next hour, from Rangers' progression in Europe to third qualifier to the domestic game tomorrow, and the signing of the wonder kid that is Mikey Moore. So lots to talk about tonight, and we'll hopefully cover it all. I suppose, how are you this evening, Ricky?
Very good, mate. Very good. I'm disappointed. No 4 lads had a dream podcast tonight. I normally steal all the content off of them, but they're on a big session tonight in Walters, so I'm flying naked tonight, mate. I'm normally stealing all the content off them, so we'll see how we'll go.
You're flying naked. That's a line. I'm sure there's bound to be some comments in a minute for there, Ricky. They'll be pleased with that. Some of your audience. And Scott, is your Wi-Fi now up to scratch so you can hear us all right?
I've got my half dial up, Gary. I'm fine.
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I wasn't working today, so it's always good when you're not working. But when you're not working, Gary, your day goes in quite quickly. But when you're working, your day goes in very slowly. So nothing else I can really say.
And that's what they say as you get older, and the days go by much quicker than they did when you're younger and all that sort of stuff. So
They do.
There. So in terms of tonight, we'll cover obviously Panathinaikos game that happened Wednesday night. I know because Ricky reminded me it was Wednesday night. I thought it was Tuesday night as well. You'd be forgiven if you've listened to the media and the podcasts and the Scottish press that Rangers actually went through. I don't want to shock MD. I don't want to give MD any spoiler alerts, but we went through. We're in the third round of the Champions League qualifier. We won an aggregate 3-1, which in 40-degree heat. Or 40-plus degree heat. So, but we can delve into some of the negatives. But I think maybe there's been a bit of a strange overreaction, Ricky, to actually go through what was a difficult qualifier.
100%, mate. I mean, Jesus, we all said it was a tough game, and all we had to do was just get through that qualifier, so we guaranteed the Europa League qualification for the group stages at worst. All I've heard since Wednesday night is Rangers won, but Rangers won, but Rangers won, but there's no buts about it, mate. Russell Martin has had 5 weeks with these players to get them into shape, and it was a massive task to get through that first game because the coefficient's not been good in Scotland. Shocking result for Hibs again last night. Scottish teams keep getting knocked out in the first round. We're basically carrying the baton for the coefficient, so it was important that we managed to get through, because imagine we got knocked out of Europe, where we would have a massive hole in our finances, which would have been looking about 30 million at the end of the year. Also, the coefficient in Scotland. I mean, I saw some guy put today where we're looking to be heading towards like 2027, and we're going to have to qualify for the Conference League if we keep on this trajectory. So it was an important victory for every victory in Scottish football by a Scottish team is very important for the coefficient. And well done to Rangers again. We got the victory in the first leg, a brilliant 1-1. And okay, the performances, we just have to get through this month and these sticky periods with these performances. Russell Martin's not just waving a magic wand and suddenly we're Brazil from the 1960s. It's going to take time, and but I absolutely love everything we're doing. But just fans, just give them a little bit of patience and a little bit. The squad will get better, things will improve, and we just need to stick with it.
Scott, I suppose the same question you asked. I've been slightly surprised that in fact, I did say on Monday night, just to clarify, you talk about you getting teams right. I did say it would be a one-each straw, a game very much like the Red Star Belgrade game a couple of years ago, where we'd lose a goal, we'd be battered during the game, and we then get the result and round about the same time. Actually, probably Ryan Kent scored a couple of years ago, if I remember rightly. And to me, it was often like what a European away game is in 40-degree heat. Wasn't it that much a surprise, although we didn't play necessarily that well?
We didn't, Gary. Because I'm not going to sit here and say we were great. I'm going to sit here and say we were bad. We were probably kind of in between. But I would say, sometimes you get the luck. And we get the luck over the 2 legs. We've not been great, but we've got the luck. We've put the ball in the net when we had to, and they never. And then the day, people can say we weren't great. The BBC can say it, Panathinaikos can say it, other teams' fans can say it, but we're in the next round, and that was the job. At the end of the day, that was a job. If it's a league game, you're looking for points, it's different. We start to moan and groan. But in these competitions, it's getting through, and that's what we've done, and that's what we had to do. And yeah, we can. Russell Martin will be first at Matt. He wants to see better for the players. Some of the players will be first at Matt. Listen, we need to do better because against better sides, we need to get away with it because they missed some decent chances. But at the end of the day, when you get beat, you don't look back at that and think, "Oh, we were great, but we get beat." I mean, do you want to look good and get beat, or do you want to play bad and win? Do you know what I mean? It's one of the things where you just take the result and move on. We can talk about a performance. If it's against Motherwell on Saturday and we're playing the same way, then we're not going to complain because there's points involved. That cup, the qualifiers, you just need to get through, and that's what we've done.
Aye. Definitely say when I was talking about that Red Star Belgrade game, two legs. See if you remember that, and I'm only use this for context, but we reached the Europa League final that year. But that game at Ibrox, and you would have been at it, Scott, as well. They won 3-0, but they had a dodgy goal disallowed. They had a missed penalty. They had umpteen chances. Games are what they are. It's about, as you say, it's about who puts the ball in the net more than the other team come the end of it, irrespective of how well. And I've watched bits of the game back again. They had a lot of chances, but there wasn't chances, you think, massively. One chance they should have scored with, definitely. The other ones weren't outstanding chances. I think some teams been a little bit overhyped, lots of pressure, but maybe not as much.
I thought they had better chances in the first leg myself, but the second leg they probably had a wee bit more of the ball. But listen, they had to come out to us, didn't they? They were 2-0, didn't they? Had to come out. They couldn't sit back. They had to come out and. Listen, you can blame the heat, you can blame all sorts. We weren't great, but we got the result. I just want to move on now. We can briefly gloss over the game, but most important thing to me now is Motherwell, because this is the start of the domestic campaign and we have to get off with a flyer.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to you, Scott. That's two periods in a row. You said they just want to move on. You don't choose when that happens. You don't choose when that happens.
He got the score right again, and the team selection. That's two. That's two.
I know.
He's got the team selection bang on,
Right, well,
only because he agreed with me, and the scoreline he got bang on as well.
Because I agreed with Gary.
Because you agreed with Gary.
So when we get to the predicted lineups and scores later on the night, everybody in the pod listen to what Scott says. Get your money on that. That's the way it's going.
Listen, I'm not won a football cup in a lottery for years, so don't listen to me. I'm just listening to you.
Ricky, you obviously live over in Cyprus, which is exceptionally warm that we're not used to. So I think the thing that stuck in my head is after the game, John Suter, who looked like he was about to collapse, was talking about the heat. And what's it like playing? What do you think it's like playing in those sort of conditions?
You can't breathe, mate. You struggle for breath. It's very, very difficult. Like if you're playing in Scotland or you're playing in normal, like when you get above 30 degrees, because it's the humidity as well at night. So I don't know if you saw the Celtic fan that asked the AI about what was the weather going to be at kickoff in Cyprus, and it gave him this massive description and said it'll feel like closer to 40 degrees because of the humidity. And you struggle for breath. It's when you're playing football, you're doing these short little sprints and these short little bursts of energy, and you take that like couple of 30 seconds to get your breath back, and that's where you struggle. And the players have lost some muscle. Well, John Suter needed to lose a bit of weight, so for him, it'll done him a massive favour because he's got an arse like 2 bags of Lidl shopping, so you need to get that a bit smaller. So, but the other players, like, you struggle to breathe, so it is very difficult. And it's very difficult. You saw the state of the stadium. It's one of the old style. The pitch is like a potato field. It looks good on the camera that it's green, but the pitch is terrible. The grass is a little bit longer. Tomorrow will be a complete different game against Motherwell, and we don't know what we're going to see tomorrow, but it'll be completely difficult. So you've got to give the players a bit of slack. And these qualifiers anyway, Gary, it's just about winning. When have you ever seen a Scottish team playing a qualifier for the Champions League or the Europa League and play expansive, amazing football and win 4-5? Now, it just doesn't happen. There's so much pressure on these games. They're like cup finals, and it's the same for both teams. The Greeks are devastated that we've knocked them out. So for us, fantastic victory. I will settle for exactly the same again, mate. If we win that tie and we get into that playoff round, I will be absolutely delighted. So give the players a bit of slack. understand the conditions. Martin's been with the players 5 weeks, and give them a bit of credit for getting through. That, from my point of view, anyway. I think some of the stuff I've read in the last couple of days, I'm just like, Mamma Mia, come on.
Scott, so in terms of European games, do you think, I suppose just think this now, do you think we're a bit spoiled? One of the things two questions. One, we said we appointed Russell Martin because we want to play better domestically, and that may come at the cost of Europe. And secondly, do you think as a club and fan base, we're a bit spoiled by European success anyway, and we expect more than we probably should?
Probably a bit of both, Gary. I think it's just because we've got a new manager and he's brought a few new players already in him. I think he's talking about changes, talking about new formations, blah, blah, blah. And everybody thinks we're going to hit the ground running, but that doesn't work in football. It doesn't work in real life. It's going to take us a while. I'm just hoping it doesn't take us too long, but it will take us a while. But at the end of the day, Russell Martin's out here and he said to his players, he's played guys that he maybe didn't want to play. He's played guys out of position, as we've seen. And is it because he doesn't rate other guys? I don't know. It's only that he can decide that. But he's put out a team twice, the same lineup twice, thinking that's good enough to get us through, and it's got us through. So that's the only way he's looking at it. Now he's focused on Poulsen. He's not focused on looking back at Panathinaikos, no matter what me, you, the media, or anybody else is saying. You were lucky, you were this. Rangers are in the next round. Panathinaikos aren't. I mean, there's Hibs get put out the other night, and I thought Hibs actually done okay. I thought they looked all right over the 2 legs, but they get put out. And so it just shows you, doesn't it? End of the day, you can play great, but you need to take your chances, and that's what we've done. If Big Dessers has took his when he come on, we'd have won the game, but nobody would have been talking about that. But I mean, you look at it. I mean, I watched some of it back, Gary. I usually do, but I didn't watch it all. But we were bad, but we weren't as bad as I thought. But we could be a lot better as well. Do you know that way? Your goalkeepers there, Butland has to make the saves. That's what he's paid for at the end of the day. But his confidence looks to be a bit better. Defensively, we have to do better. But Martin knows that. But he's still looking for players. I mean, there's Moore come in today because obviously McCausland's away. So it seems to be when we get one out, one comes in. So I'm just hoping the next one out's a left back and then the next one's out's a centre half, and then we can maybe get you 2 positions filled, because I think that's where we're short.
I'm not going to pick up on specific instances of the game, but I'm just going to pick up on certain things you've said. So one of the things you said about the defence didn't look great. It's quite an interesting one, because the defence, that arguably what happens, the front three weren't holding the ball up either. So the ball was coming back repeatedly to them. That's part of the issues. And if you look at the front three, you're Cutlass, Danilo and Dowell. And I can't remember, please do not start going into a Dowell debate, because there's no need for it. But part of the issue is it's not just about the defence losing the ball, it's about the fact that the midfield is not functioning right fully yet, or the attack's not the attack they're going to have in most weeks going forward.
Who's this?
Me. Ricky, you go.
No, you're absolutely spot on. It's a very good point, well made, Gary. You're right. I mean, we're all excited about Curtis. He's came and he's done well in pre-season and stuff like that, but you need that extra bit of quality. You need a bit of pace, and Martin's team normally has pace on both wings, and hopefully we've got that now. Where Moore's not going to play tomorrow because he's not registered yet, but when you look at we need to get Gassama in the team tomorrow. He has to start. Like, what I will say about Martin, there's nothing wrong with being critical, because he is playing a few players out of position and stuff like that, when maybe at this point he doesn't need to do that. That's the only thing you can maybe say to him. But he needs to make changes for tomorrow. He can't go into that game against Motherwell, especially with the amount of games we've got coming up and that massive shift the players put in. I would like to see 5 changes tomorrow, if I'm being honest, and that might sound like a lot, but I think we've got the squad to do it. There's players ready to come in. 4 or 5 changes, maybe a bit less if Moore can't play. But I think we need to be changing it every few days, because these players are going to be the amount of games we've got at the start of it. It's good to get a system integrated and get it working, but it's mad how many games we're going to be playing. So it's going to be a struggle for the players. But you're absolutely right. If you can get more quality, the people in the comments, you need to listen to this one. We need to get Dessers back in the team.
Yes. Can you repeat that, Ricky? Say it one more time for me. Say it one more time.
I miss Cyril. I miss Big Cyril, man. I miss Big Cyril. I miss swagging him. I miss loving him. We need to get him back in the team. I know he's Marmite, but out of the strikers we've got, especially the ones we've got fit, Danilo's a bit lost. You know, he's a bit like a kite. A child with a kite up front, he's just flying about but not actually doing anything. So we need to get Cyril back in the team, new front three for Motherwell, and then see if that helps the team because it needs it. And maybe just put Yefty back to left back just now because there's too many square pegs and round holes when you're trying to get your system to work. Is maybe not like Kerr said. It's okay in Europe, but in Scotland we need to win these games up to the Old Firm game.
Yeah. So, Scott, I'm just picking some of the other points of the game, not specifics, but one of the things I noticed when I was looking at the stats, and I don't know enough a lot about stats, but 75% possession at Ibrox, 56% and or so, and I think it was 60% in the first half. There, it's interesting. I mean, obviously we are dominating possession, maybe not. I remember Joe Rothwell saying there's no passes for passes' sake. They are moving a lot around the back, but it's a deliberate purpose and. We've seen in the last few games a couple of things have been caught, but it doesn't look like. I mean, that is a style of play. You can start to see a pattern, and as you get maybe more well versed, but there's still going to be times you're going to lose it. That's football.
We're trying to play. We're telling people to take risks, Gary, and they're taking risks as you've seen. But sometimes the risks maybe are the wrong ones to take. I mean, every player that's played the first two games against Panathinaikos, everybody's made a mistake in the team. There's nobody that's not, apart from maybe Jack Butland, but he's still got a long way to go before he's back on a lot of fans' good side because of his performances last season. But it's the way he wants them to play, and then they're going to have to keep at it and at it and at it. Because managers, you've seen it with a lot of managers, and Martin's the same. Just because he has one or two bad results, or one or two maybe let goals in or passes going astray, he's not going to change it because me and you say, another couple of podcasts say, or the media say, because that's his philosophy. It cost him his job at Southampton. He said that night on Monday Night Football. No matter the abuse he was getting, he wasn't changing because that's the way he wants to play. So he's going to be the same with us. He may dabble slightly, but he's not going to change the way he wants the ball played. You've seen it. I think Suter looks lost on the left side, but I think he's no confidence coming forward with the ball, and I think teams will pick up on that quite quickly. I think Aarons is the same. I think when he's at right back, he looks more comfortable, but when he's on the left, because he wants to pass and move, he struggles because he's cutting inside all the time because he struggles with the ball on his left side. And I think Raskin Dio's struggling as well in this formation because Nico was used to sitting more, Diamandi is used to do more, but they've got a set way to play. And I would still say both of them are better if both of them swap sides, but I'm not the manager. Rothwell was okay. The first game I thought the other night, he gave the ball away a few times himself. And the front three, it's not a front three, I think he wants, but it's a front three, it's like Ricky mentioned earlier. It's fit at this moment in time. And that's the ones he's going with. I mean, he mentioned Gassama didn't play again because even after last week's game, he was kind of blown. So it tells you if he was blown after Ibrox, he couldn't start in Panathinaikos with the heat. Do you know that way? So he knows the guys who are fit, he knows the guys he wants, and sometimes that's not close enough to go with the guys he wants. So he's going with the guys he thinks he can trust at this moment in time, purely because they're maybe the fittest players he's got, and they've played that system more than others who haven't yet.
He did say that in his press conference, Ricky, didn't he? I mean, he talked a wee bit about Dowell, and I can't remember the exact words, but it was Dowell's been here since the start of pre-season, and he knows the way we want to play, whereas some of the other guys are coming in. I'm just using an example because we all know Dowell's the one that gets spattered, but the idea was that these guys have played that game for a few weeks extra, so they know, I suppose, the patterns, rotations, whatever you want to call these things.
Yeah, and that's okay, but I don't know if I think he has this habit of he knows the players that are going to get criticism after the match. So when he goes into the press conference, he highlights them and says they've played amazing. When the fans already are looking, going, amazing. Danilo, how was Danilo amazing? How was it? Because he done a lot of stuff off the ball, and he was going on about a few players, and you're thinking to yourself, is he watching the same match as we were? But that's okay because he's just protecting his players and he's just getting used to his players. So you've got to understand that. But I tell you what, mate, in 9 months' time, if we're 10 points behind Celtic and we're at the end of a match, he's praising players that are playing really, really bad, then the fans will be getting the same things that Clement were getting because you know what the fans are like. But no, you're right. I mean, these players have sort of learned his system the most, but there's other players in the squad that have been practicing everything he wants to do as well. So he can't keep playing. Like, you can't play that front three against Motherwell tomorrow. Absolutely no chance. If we drop points against Motherwell and he plays young Curtis, Gassama's still on the bench and Dowell was playing right wing, then fans will go absolutely ballistic and they'll have every right to do. I mean, he's the manager. It's on his back. He has the right to pick the team that he wants to. But we need a bit, like you said, that the team works as a unit. And if too many parts of that unit are not supporting what the other parts are supposed to do, everything's going to break down and it's going to look like one big mess. And I think also what I liked, and this is what he used to say at Southampton as well. He said after the match, it will never look as bad as what it did, or it will never be as bad as what it was, and that. So he knows that it's going to get better and better. So hopefully we see a little bit of freshness, and it would be good to see a good performance and a good victory, because Motherwell's going to be up for this tomorrow. You know they are. You know what Scottish football is like. We people in their head just think Rangers turn up and win 3-0, but it doesn't work like that. It's always a tough match at Motherwell. We always seem to be a goal down or 2 goals down. Last time Igaman came on and rescued us a point over Christmas last year. So we need to be on it from the start tomorrow, Gary.
So it's like with you, Ricky. Obviously, so the second half comes, we lose a goal, slightly bizarre goal. The guy mishits his header, goes out the back of net. Obviously, Aarons and Giga were probably a bit 2 or 3 yards behind, so let played the guy on. I've seen Dowell getting criticised. I thought it was a bit harsh because he stayed in the line properly, but it's supposed to. It's not his fault that other people didn't.
Exactly, spot on. He did exactly what he was supposed to, and the two Aarons and Giga were sleeping, and he Dowell, because people just want to criticise him for no reason, mate. It was crazy.
But then Gassama comes on, so straight away, to be fair to Russell Martin, he makes a change immediately. Gassama comes on. Well, that long drawn out VAR check, which seemed to be, I don't know if you've seen the BBC lines, even if that was the lines they show for a VAR check, it was quite bizarre. I've never seen a line that in my life. It was just this white line drawn across the page. But Gassama comes on anyway, and within 2 minutes or so, his first touch of the ball, what a finish.
What a finish, mate. And we needed it, you know, like it killed the tie stone dead, mate. I mean, imagine they just needed another 10 minutes and the crowd were going to be up and it was going to be the Alamo. But that goal, I mean, I don't know if you saw the picture of their bench. Their bench knew as soon as he put it in the top bin, their bench were all like, you know, they knew the tie was over because it just took it took the wind out of the stadium. It took the wind out of them. It took the wind out of everything, that momentum that Panathinaikos had built up. And so, to be fair, they did deserve 1 goal over the 2 legs. We'll give them 1 goal. But Gassama, what a hero. We've got an absolute... I'm hearing that, like, in training and everything, he's just like... The players are just like, this kid is sensational. So, for £2 million from Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, it's shocking what they're going through just now. We wouldn't wish that on anyone. We've been through it. It's terrible. Their players are not getting paid. There's a lot of things going on. So if we've got any other players like Gassama that want to send to Rangers, we'll look after them, that's for sure. But outstanding. What a way to introduce yourself to the Rangers fans. And he has to play from the start tomorrow, Gary. We need to see what this kid can do for the start, 100%. If it's on the left, and he wants to play Dowell and Gassama, then okay. But I'd rather he played Curtis and Gassama. But if he wants to go with Dowell and Gassama, but we need to see this kid on the left. We need to see what he can do from the start. He's fit enough now. You've held him back long enough. Unleash the gas, man.
Scott, you know, when Raskin does well, Danilo hits one shot wayward and another one he saves and it goes back to it. But it's the way he gets his foot above the ball, makes him up at height. What a finish. And as Ricky says, that kills game. I think at that point, you know, they're not coming back to win this.
No, it's instinct from him, but it was also his technique. He knows what he's doing because the ball's at a good height, and as soon as it hits it, you knew it was going in, and that's what we needed because we got it very quickly after they scored, and it did knock stuff into them, Gary, to be fair. I was still worried, but if it was 2-1 into the last 10 minutes, you'd have been more worried, but that goal kind of knocked the stuff out of them, didn't it? Because they put a lot of effort in. So they did, and then to think they've just scored after we scored there, and it was a killer blow to them, but no, I took it well, and that's what we want. But you mean, yeah, that's twice he's done it, come off the bench and scored very quickly. So he's made an impact twice, and it's probably paid his transfer fee. But paid his transfer fee. But you just want you. I'm hearing myself here. I don't know if it's myself here. I don't know if
must be you.
That's Ricky, I think. It's Ricky's useful. Ricky's always causing issues, isn't he? If he's not right, he's causing some issues. Somebody want to take him.
Let us all sign him.
Go and play with Ross McCausland for now. No, I mean, to be honest with you, after the game the other night, Gary, I wasn't unhappy, do you know what I mean? I wasn't with the performance, because I was just glad we get through, because at the end of the day, that's all I wanted. I was saying that during the day in the lot. I said, I just want to get through the night. I don't care about performance, but that's what you've really heard, and it's a tad unfair, but like I said, that's what football fans are like, not just Rangers fans, all football fans are like. No matter the result you get, you always want better. No matter if you play well, you want to play better. If you play bad, you don't like it. And it's easy enough to sit and criticise, because one criticism can blow up and you can talk about it for 10, 15, 20 minutes, even a few hours. But if you get a positive, some folks say, right, that should happen anyway, let's talk about something else. So it's easy to criticise. I may do it all the time, but it's very easy to do.
And you don't want to start happy clapping already and at the start of the season of it, be criticised for that. See, just you're reminding me of something else. So it's the last 20 minutes, Scott, we go to a 3 at the back, which I thought was quite clever. People have talked a lot about Russell Martin's tactics and his inflexibility and all the other stuff that goes with it. He moved the last 15, 20 minutes to brought in Jeff to move that Aaron's over to the right hand side and just kind of killed the game, which I thought was quite cleverly done. Do you know what you do? And you don't. There's always a wee bit. You don't know how much they've chucked it or how much the tactics have affected it. But certainly they never really looked dangerous after that at all. Scott.
No, Gary, I said that in the chat. I said I thought we looked more comfortable. After coming on, he's left sided, so he looked a lot more comfortable. I thought Aaron's going over to the other side. He looked comfortable in the ball. He was happy to get possession again. He even enjoyed playing his back to goal at times when the ball was coming to him. It's just the other side he struggles. He does struggle. I don't know if it's just because he's just in a new team or it's just getting used to the way he's playing, but he is struggling. But he's not going to admit it because he wants to play. But I think it's very unfair on him. And I think it's unfair the criticism he's getting because that's not his best position. If he's playing his best position and he was still playing his bad, you maybe say, right, is he the guy he's supposed to be this Premiership player supposed to be valued at £7 million and one of our first signings? And I think it's unfair. This is just my opinion. It's no Tavernier bashing, even though it sounds like it. I think it's unfair. He's been signed, and he's been told he can't play in his ball position because of Tav. Because I thought Tav was put over the two legs, but that's just my opinion.
So I'm going to challenge that a wee bit, not the Tav, but just Aaron's bit, because I get the fact he's played out of position, and I'm not wanting to start criticising Ricky, but the chance that they had was just literally it looked slow, and the guy beat him for pace quite easily, you know, and he was jogging, the one that runs in, and then obviously I talked about the goal that they lost was because he was sleeping basically and didn't move forward. So I can understand the positional side, but there's also just basics that he wasn't doing as well. So and to be fair, he hasn't really played 4 games last season, so there's maybe a bit. He's not played a lot of football the last couple of years.
But I do agree with if you're playing on your wrong side, I mean, you can see he's a lot more comfortable when he's on your right side. So I think you do need to cut him. Part of it is the reason that you just said. It's part of it. He didn't play that many games this season, so you're getting him. He's in a new country. He's in a new system. He's playing high-paced football. He's playing on the left side rather than the right. He's having to play as an inverted fullback, which he's never done before. And as everyone is saying, these are inverted fullbacks on steroids. It's like crazy the way that he wants to play. It's absolute madness. So there's a lot of things that he's got to learn and get used to. And hopefully it looks a bit. It's definitely going to be the same defence tomorrow, I would imagine. Maybe you might see one change, maybe a surprise, maybe a Suter drops out or something. Because we've got so many games coming up, but I'd imagine it'll be the same defence because you'll want to keep that continuity with Butland, who's shown good form at the start of the season. But he's got to get better. I mean, it's not going to get any easier for him tomorrow. I mean, this manager, Russell Martin, played with this guy at Norwich that's in charge with Motherwell, and he's trying to play football. But he's going to target Aarons 100%. He's got that information from both legs, so he'll be waiting until the ball gets ever played into Tav or gets played into Aarons, and they'll be pressing us high and as fast as you can. So we need to be aware that that's going to be going on, and we just need to clean up. There's so many little mistakes, like Kerr said. The passing has not been crisp enough. It's not been sharp enough. And these little mistakes, we're giving teams chances. Teams are not cutting us open. And I suppose you can say that they are creating chances because the way they're pressing. So you can give the teams that, but we've got to cut that out. We're not going to start just punting the ball long. So forget that. This is the way we're going to be playing. But we just need to be a little bit sharper and a little bit faster at it. It's not just Aaron's. I mean, like Kerr said earlier on again, all the players are getting caught on the ball. All the players are making mistakes. It's not just like every single player in the two games is like giving the ball away or being slow. I mean, the ball's getting played up. Shooter's punting balls up to Danilo. It's just coming straight back because Danilo can't hold the ball up. He's useless at holding the ball up. So there's a lot of things for Martin that he needs to work on, and he has to get better going into these league matches because we need to start the season good and get some points on the board, Gary.
Aye, and to be fair, when I see a few comments why criticise Aaron, this isn't really the podcast for you. We don't really want to go about criticising players anytime. That's not really, we don't enjoy that. It's no real gain for that. But as you say, every player made mistakes over the two games. Every player will make mistakes over most of the games as the season goes on. Hopefully, it doesn't lead to goals. I think I suppose that as we move on, then, so the main bit, Scott, is we are into the Champions League third qualifier, but probably less important. That's probably less important today than the fact we're in the Europa League group stages guaranteed, and I guaranteed £4 million for yesterday's game, 17 or 18 million pound at least from the Europa League. I mean, now we've got a bit of because of a hell of a lot of pressure on that game, as Ricky says, potentially get nothing. So now we can relax a little bit. If knowing that there's a level of money there that we know has been what we've had previous years.
Yeah, I think. I mean, that's just the way football is. It's all about finances, and I think the board will relax a wee bit more because I know that money they've got games up until Christmas anyway, and Rangers already took £34 at my bank for the Pilsen game. But I just think you had to get through that because it was critical for the team, the manager, but also for the board members. They're probably like, whew. But no, it's good to see. It's good to be in Europe until then. But I think now we can concentrate in the league and then look forward to the Pilsen game. But I think, obviously, hopefully, Martin does. Obviously, Europe is important because it gets you the finance that you need to buy players and other stuff. But I'm hoping they kind of prioritises the league for me. But listen, tomorrow will be going to be difficult. We know that, and we're going to have up and down performances for a while, just until the players settle in. But what he's done in the last two games has got a result. So I'm just hoping, even if I'm not great tomorrow, we still manage to get a result.
And there's a few comments there. So we play Victoria Pilsen, who are from the Czech Republic, or Czechia, and I suppose just bearing in mind that they obviously then beat Sparta Prague and Slavia Prague to win the league if I'm in the right country. So I don't imagine they're mugs. I think they might be losing the highly rated 10 million striker, and we'll cover more of that next week in the pod for the preview. But I get everybody saying it's now an easier draw, but they're obviously a good side as well. I think we maybe should get a little bit camera about that, and we'll discuss that next week. I think there's a question, who do we get if we get through that game, which is going to be a tough game. Nobody knows. It could be, was it Benfica? There's 14, Feyenoord, Fenerbahce, or I can't remember that one.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Maybe Salzburg. Salzburg, maybe?
Yeah, Salzburg, yeah. I don't think we can get Feyenoord. I think it's out the other one. I think it's Benfica or the other one. Yeah, Club Brugge is one of them. Yeah. So, I mean, but to be honest, Gary, you hit the nail on the head. It's going to be a tough game, but it's a free. For me anyway, it's a free hit now. I'm not bothered if we're in the Champions League or the Europa League this season. I think just let Martin concentrate on building a team. If we win the league this year, we automatically qualify for the Champions League. That should be our number one aim. He just achieved his number one aim, which was beating Panathinaikos. So now it moves on to the second number one aim is to beat Motherwell and then start the league campaign and win the league, and then we're automatically in the Champions League with a team that's had one season to bed in. That's going to be much better, and then we've got more of a chance. Win the league 100%. I couldn't agree more. But anyway, we're going to tackle this team. It's going to be a tough match. What I will say about us, Gary, and I think people underestimate Rangers now in Europe. I think we are a good European. Like I said before, we played Panathinaikos. They're a conference stage team. We got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and we've been getting out the group stages now year on year on year on year. The Rangers are phenomenal, and we've been phenomenal Okay, it's not the Champions League, but the teams that were beaten, we still took some massive scalps over the last 5 years. So I think we should have a bit more, give the team a bit more credit again for what they're doing in Europe. And it'll be a really tough game. It's so fast. The turnaround is so fast. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on, and we'll see what happens over the 2 legs. But again, the same as the Panathinaikos match was 50-50. This game is 50-50 again. And then when you get to the next final round, it's probably 60-40 tilting against you. So it's getting harder and harder. But it's out of all the teams you could have played, this is the easiest probably out of all, because some of the other games are absolutely brutal, Gary. So
yeah, no, 100%. So let's move on. We'll come back to it Monday night. We're back on. We'll preview the game in a bit more detail. But transfer news, Scott. So 17-year-old Tottenham wonder kid joined today, and I don't know if you've seen his interview yet, but it was, I love the Rangers. My family love the Rangers. Jermaine Defoe told me that everybody should love the Rangers, or whatever, something along those lines. He was buzzing to be here, which is good to see. And there's been a lot of talk about his age, but he's played 20 odd games, I think, last season for Tottenham. So at that level, you're presuming he knows how to kick a ball.
I was talking to my mate last night. It's a Spurs fan. He was saying that he's very mature for his age on a football park. He said they've got very high hopes for him. He said he's probably the most sought after youngster they've had. And he said if Andrew's still there, he wouldn't have been loaned out, because Andrew's done quite a lot. But because Thomas Frank's come in, he's trying to build a side, and he's loaning him out because he wants him to adjust to other parts of his game and mature more. But before they came to us, he signed a contract extension with Spurs anyway, so they're not selling him, they're not letting him go. They've got high hopes for him. They just think a year out somewhere playing regular football. And he did say regular football, so to me, we've maybe guaranteed him some amount of appearances. So I just hope the boy hits the ground running. And by all accounts, Callum was telling me that his family they do like Rangers. He's only 17, so maybe he's just saying that for himself. But by all accounts, his family did. But yeah, Jermaine Defoe was there at Spurs coaching, and obviously he's coached the boy. Listen, I'm only getting told by the boy what he knows, and by all accounts, he's a very good player. I mean, as everybody will watch some of his highlights on YouTube. I've seen him play with Spurs last season a few times. He looked good coming off the bench. He looked good when he started. I think he scored in one Europa League games as well, and I think he's the youngest player to score from in Europe. But as long as he comes up here and he can do a job, that's all we want, Gary. Age is all a number to me. We make in Scotland, I feel, we make a more about age than anywhere else in the world. Anywhere else in the world, you get guys 50, you get guys 16, 17 playing at the top level. But in Scotland, it's like, nah, he's only 18, he's 17, he's 19. I don't think he'll handle the atmosphere at Pittodrie, or no handle the heat in Athens. That's nonsense. It's nonsense to me, and it's always been nonsense. That's why we don't produce enough players in Scotland, because we wait until they're a certain age before we give them a chance. By that time, they've rotted away, or stagnated away, and their potential is gone. So sometimes if they're good enough, you're old enough, end of the day.
And Ricky, we were talking about him earlier on before we come on. He's a physical specimen for a 17-year-old boy. He looks as though he's able to handle himself, and that's maybe half the battle of the Scottish players, but don't have that often. You've got Tiny B, Barron and Cameron and all these other guys.
We spoke about it before we came on air. How come? What are they feeding them down in the academies in England? And I saw him getting interviewed today, and the first thing I thought was like, I had to rub my eyes, because I was like, he's 17. I was like, there's no way that kid's 17. He's massive. He's stocky. He's really well built. And then he said he had 2 dogs, one called Alfredo and one called Defoe. Fell in love with him a bit more, and then love Rangers. And I know all the songs. I know Derry's Walls. I was like, what an interview! This guy's amazing. No, his interview was fantastic, mate, and he's excited to be here. And I know, again, a few fans are comparing him to Ahmed Diallo and some of the other kids. I don't think he's that. I think he's a lot more mature. He's got a lot more promise. And Tottenham, Tottenham are paying his wages as well. I tell you what, one thing you'll say about Felwell and Purdy, they've been sensational in the loan market so far, right? Because this is how you should be bringing in loan players. It's not always about a loan player with an obligation to buy. That's brilliant. And you can like say Cherny, like, okay, we didn't have an obligation to buy, but we thought we might be able to buy him. But he was using Rangers to get, and now it looks like he's staying at Wolfsburg. He's getting a new contract, higher wage and everything like that. So both of us got like mutual benefit out of that relationship. But see if you're managing to get players that are worth 10 million, players that are worth 20 million, which this kid is. He's like, that's minimum 20 million this kid's worth. And then you've got Aarons, which is probably the one that at the end of the season, if he does well, you might be able to get him from Bournemouth if you can lower the price a little bit that they want for him. So I think we've been great with the loan players we've brought in. I'm not going to mention the names, but see some of the people, man, that are absolute. What are we bringing in this 17? We've got 17-year-olds. We should be developing. Our 17-year-olds are pish, man. Let's be honest, No, they're going on loan to Queen's Park, and they're going on loan to they're speaking about Bailey Rice going to Patrick Thistle, and again, it's like, oh my God, and it's like people are saying, oh, don't bring in a Tottenham superstar because it's we might have a player that's better in the academy. Absolute garbage. The whole idea of the loan system is to make your squad. And Russell Martin was brilliant with his interview today. He's like, I don't care about his age. We're here to win. He's here to help us win right now. That's all you need to know. Forget about his age. Forget about this. Forget about it. And Moore said the same. He's like, forget about my age. I don't even think about it. I don't even think about my age. I just think I want to meet my teammates and I want to get on that park. Absolutely superb. Great interview. If you've not seen it on YouTube, go and watch it because it was absolutely brilliant.
No, it's interesting, Joe. But we've raved a lot of last season about 17-year-old Joao at Barcelona or other guys, and then you think then you're taking a guy on loan like, oh, he's too young. What do you mean? We can't replay him, or it might actually affect Finlay Curtis's development, and it might, but it's up to him to then prove that he deserves a place in the team. That's how football works. You don't get anything just because you're Scottish and you support Rangers. You've got to work for it and deserve it, and that's sadly how it goes. If he's good enough, he'll develop and he'll get a chance, and hopefully learning from the 3 or 4 wingers we've got over the course of the year might make him a far better player next season. And there's different. But what I think it does, I suppose, and the key point, Scott, is that what we've done is he going to be able to replace Ross McCausland to move on to Aris Limassol today in a season's long loan with a conditional obligation to buy? I don't know what the conditions may be. It may be that he tries to go down the line rather than cut inside, but maybe something. There might be some conditions there. So Ross McCausland out, Mikey Moore in. The squad strengthening at its best.
Yeah, squad's massively strengthened. Even if Ross is still here, it's massively strengthened. But all the best to Ross. Listen, he tried his best when he was here. That's all he wanted to do was play for Rangers. He done it. He's loved it, and good luck to him. Limassol, I hope he does really well. I hope he gets some money for him. If he doesn't, he'll be back and he'll go elsewhere. I don't see any future for him at Rangers, but he probably played more games for us than I ever thought he would, Gary. And I remember watching him in the academy, and he was never one of these players that you thought was going to make the first team, but he took the jump and he done okay when he first came in. He scored a couple of goals, he tried to get involved. I think it was the consistency with Ross, wasn't it? He just couldn't sit at that level. He was always more down than he was up, and like I said, he's played a decent amount of games, so good luck to him next season, and hopefully he does really well and we get some money for him.
And it's not a criticism of him. At the end of the day, if he wasn't wrestling good enough to impact the team, that's football again. As we said, you need the best players. It's all well and good. We could have 11 Scottish and Northern Irish players, but if we're sitting down mid-table, it's not going to work. So good luck to him as well. Balogun and Goldson will look after him over in Cyprus. The 40-degree heat with the warm weather might be a blonde hair. Okay.
He went backwards. He was good when he first came into the team. He looked sharp. He looked hungry, and even the start of last season, Comont started playing him on. Yeah, Comont started playing him on the left, which was weird. But he cut and scored that great goal away to Malmo. So the kid's lived the dream. He's played at Parkhead. He's played in Old Firms. He can say that he played for Rangers first team and scored goals for Rangers first team. But you've got to be honest. And football's a cutthroat business, Gary. We need to be winning championships and lifting shiny things again. And that goes for any player. And that goes for Connor Barron. That goes for Lyle Cameron. That goes. They guys have to prove now. The level of the squad is going to be going up and up and up and up. And unfortunately, if you're dropping lower and lower, you ever stay with the tempo and stay with the quality. Like you said with Curtis, I'm a massive Curtis fan. I love the kid. But even Martin said it today. He says, no, Curtis will learn. Curtis wants to learn. He's going to learn off these players. Exactly. No time for sentimental bullshit. I would love to have a whole podcast about Tavernier when it comes to that. But anyway, we'll no bring Ross McCausland to Tavernier. But it's at the end of the day, Gary, if you're good enough, you will stay with the squad, because this squad is going to change. It's mental what it's going to look like at the 1st of September, and then in January it'll change again, and then next summer there'll be a lot of players on loan that'll go out, and there'll be a lot of new players coming in again next summer. So, and I love that about Martin, because I think he knows exactly what he needs, and that's the sort of manager that we've needed for a long time. Not a manager that's coming in and trying to get the best out of players. A manager that's came in, knows what he needs, and just ripping it up and going, no, he's not good enough, he's not good enough. And he's, to be fair to him as well, he's given players, he spoke about Yefte today, he's raging with Yefte, and quite rightly, because he said to Yefte, he's told Yefte, and we saw this last season, right? Yefte has got good attributes, right? He's a good ball carrier. But the two things he's not very good at, one is defending, because his positioning's all over the place, and number two, he needs to work on his final ball. So Martin's told him that, and he's trying to work with him. And if he takes that on board, then he's got a chance to get back in the team. But if he just sulks like he has been, he's been sulking since he got dropped for Aarons, then he's never going to get back in the team. It's as simple as that. So it's up to the players to show that they're good enough to play for this new Rangers.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so on, Jeff, as you say, talk about Jeff, and he says he's got potential, and he's only 21. It's up to him whether he takes that opportunity to learn and develop. But it did make me, when we look at other transfers, Scott, so it did, if you watch the press conference, it did make it quite clear that there'll probably another left back's coming in, because he did say Aarons isn't going to be the first choice left back. Ridvan's on his way out, and Jeff needs to do more to get in the team. So there is likelihood of a new left back coming. There's obviously talk about Ben Davies going to Birmingham for £750,000. I don't know if that's seems to be clicking about here, there, and everywhere. Obviously, Connor Cody is no longer on his way away to Wrexham, and Ant-Man still seems to be the most likely next signing.
I said, yeah, Gary, it seems to be as soon as we get one out, one comes in, doesn't it? That's where they're kind of working now. One away, one comes in, and I think it will add another maybe 2, 3 more, maybe even 4 before the window shuts. I think we need to. I do think a left back will come in. Ricky's looking for 5. I do think a left back will come in. I don't know, will it be an experienced left back? Will it be a young left back? We're not sure, but one will come in. Centre half for me has to come in. I think if he's going to play Jigger, the side he's playing in, Suter's not great on the left side, so I think we'll have to bring in another centre. And this is just Suter. I think he's better on another side. I think on that side he panics a bit more, but as a siege mentality defender, and he puts the blocks in, he wins a lot of headers, he's good at the last minute ditch stuff, but if the way Martin wants to play, I don't know if he'll struggle in that as well. And it's not his fault, it's just he's not been used to that type of football. He's always played in a 3 or a 4 where he's defends first, do you know what I mean, and passing second. So I think he'll bring in, I still think we need another striker as well, but I don't want to be too greedy, but I think we do. I think Danilo's still, the jury's out. I don't know if I think the jury could be out for a long time with Danilo. Igaman, is he injured? Does he not? We don't know about Igaman. Is he going to leave? Dessers is probably the only one we've got, and you know yourself, he scored quite a lot of goals over the last 2 seasons, but like Danilo, we drew out him for different reasons. He's not everybody's cup of tea, Dessers either, and we've all criticised him on this pod. Probably the least has been you, Gary, but we've all criticised him. Maybe Ricky. I've not heard Ricky criticise him right enough. No, but Dessers does score goals, but I still think we need somebody up top. But as for you, I mean, I'd probably say a left back, a centre back, and probably somebody out on the right as well. I mean, does Cortez get minutes now? Because he's a young guy. If he's fit, why not? We've paid money for him. We've paid a lot of money for him. Does he get his chance? It's exciting to see, as in you want to see what's happening, but it's also the other side that you're kind of not frightened, but you're thinking, well, this clicking time to get us victories. Do you know what I mean? So exciting, but it's also another side that you're like, shit, are we going to do enough to get the points? Because going to Motherwell shouldn't be difficult, because, and it's no disrespect, they do well what they do, but the team players we've got, we should always be beating sides like that, and we should be. But football doesn't work that way. So we'll have to go there and fight. And I'm just hoping the players click enough and put enough fight in it to get his points. But maybe I'm going to say, but I think we should another 5 should come in. I think another 5 before September.
I'm just thinking there. So a left back, a centre back, and a right winger is the 3 that are probably key. Other than that, it's when players go out, isn't it? As much as anything else, it's a striker when another striker leaves. It's maybe, but with those three priority positions need strengthening for the.
Yeah, but I would say left back, left centre back, a must, because Suter. We need more balance on that side, and it's got to be a player that suits Martin's system. It might be a young academy guy for England again. I might pull someone like that. Well, we're on about that Chelsea guy, but I think he went to Strasbourg with their dodgy system, a big roundabout of dodginess, They'll buy out, they'll probably. So, and we need a striker, mate. We do need a striker. This Turgeman sounds like, and then if we get Ant-Man, that's 4, and then we need a backup striker as well if Egerman and Dessers leaves, because if we break, I think Dessers has been, okay, he's been hit and miss, but he's been quite patient with Rangers, because he's took a lot of crap since he's came to Scotland, if you imagine. So if someone's offering him more money and a way out of Rangers, and he feels like he's not going to be, because he went in a huff quite fast last season when Egerman was the number 9 and Dessers was on the bench. It was only when he got back in the team, and then when McCoist and McCoist, behave yourself, Ricky Ferguson started playing him at the end of the season, he was happy again, and he was there. But I don't like. I want to ask you a question, right? Right now, right? Forget about bringing in any more players. With the squad we have right now, do you think we could win the league? Me personally, I don't. Do you?
I think we are the left back and left centre back short. If we got they two,
I just said that's changing the rules. You half-wit, man. I'm the host now.
Right, okay.
I'm the host now.
Right, okay.
With the players we have just now.
No, we don't have enough depth. No, not enough depth.
Exactly.
Yes, I think there is enough. I think
you think we could win the league with the squad we've got now?
Going with if it's going with the squad we've got now and the squad they've got just now, I think there's enough there. But it'll be different coming in the window. But I think if it clicked, there's just enough there, because I don't think there was a lot between us two sides last season. And I think if we can pick up the points we should have picked up last season, I think it could be a different story. So I think we've just got enough. We've improved it enough, but everybody would have to be on their game, But I think there is.
I think they're going to sign players, though, Kerr. There's no doubt about that. They'll bring in 2.
I was there, but you just said aye or no, so I said aye.
I never just said them.
Let's get back to I'm in charge again.
Aye, let the real host, let the adult.
I want Ricky to host the pod.
So I know we're trying that for the last. Do you know what are we, a year into this pod now, Scott? Is that a year pretty much now? So this is the start of the season.
Well, over a year, aye. So
sorry, I went rogue.
Ricky should host a pod soon, Gary. I mean, you can sit and listen to him run.
Or what we do when Ricky goes back to Scotland at Christmas time to do one of threes in the one room.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, for there. Anyway, so tomorrow starts the start of the league season against away to Motherwell, 5:30 kickoff on one channel. Who knows what one? Sky Sports is it? I don't know. And we've not got a great record in the first 2 games of the season. Hearts last year, I remember Kilmarnock games and a few other ones over the year. We've not particularly started that well. What are you expecting, Ricky, for tomorrow? Because it is, I mean, this whole different style, this whole different approach. How do you think it's going to play out?
Well, there's changed the word into hope. I'm hoping, and then expecting is maybe a little bit 2 different things, because I'm hoping that we see what happened when the subs come on against Middlesbrough. That's the sort of, I want us to be the dominant team and the attacking team, because they're going to play football. Motherwell play football. They're trying to play football like Russell Martin is. So they're trying to do it with players that are a lot more inferior to the players we've got. So, like Kerr says, we should be rolling up to Fir Park tomorrow, confident where the team is going to look really fit. I believe the team is going to look fit. So hopefully we're pinging the ball about. And if we can cut out the mistakes and don't lose a stupid early goal, just don't go 2-0 behind. Nothing daft, nothing silly. It's the first game of the season. Exactly. I would take 3-1 right now. It doesn't have to be perfect for 90 minutes, but if we can see we've been rubbish in the first halves under Martin, so I want to see a big improvement with that. I want us to come out from the start of the match, warm up, be sharp, start of the game, really go after Motherwell, get a couple of early goals would be absolutely perfect. 3-0, all that sort of stuff. But we just know it's not going to be like that. Motherwell's going to be in our faces. They're going to be up for it. It's so what I want to see is a good dominant victory for Rangers. I would take a 1-0 right now. The most important thing is we get through this month and we win every single game going into that Old Firm game to give us the best chance at the end of the month. So I would take a 1-0, but I want to see a good performance from Rangers. Expecting, it's difficult to say, Gary, because you just don't know with this team. It's so raw. There's so many players out of position. There's so many players trying to get up to fitness and everything still. So it'll be interesting to see.
Scott, I suppose this is where the Russell Martin style is supposed to really work well in it. Because the assumption is that Motherwell, Kilmarnock, Livingston, all these teams don't have technically as good players as us, so we should be able to move the ball quicker, maybe not being pressed as much, maybe not having that same level of having to get the ball out of defence with 50 passes as opposed to slightly quicker. Do you think that, I suppose tomorrow's game is an indicator, but going forward, most of the games aren't going to be like the last two of the Panathinaikos games, I suppose is my point.
No, it's not, Gary. I think tomorrow you're going to see Rangers are going to do the same kind of things they've done the last few games. They're going to try and keep possession, try and move the ball quickly. I mean, it can take 16 passes, 30 passes before we get to the edge of the box, either create a chance or get a shot. And I think Motherwell will do the same. But what I've noticed the way we've played so far, and I mean, I'm looking at some of the highlights for their previous games, they take a lot of risks and they've made a lot of bad passes at the back and give away chances in the League Cup sections I watched in, and we've done the same. So I think tomorrow's going to be a high score game. It could be 2 each, it could be 3, hopefully it's 3-2 to us. But I think both teams will give away chances by the way they're going to be playing. I think that's how most chances will be created. Most chances are created nowadays where people make mistakes anyway. If somebody creates a chance, you say, well done, that's a great move. But a lot of times, a lot of goals come from mistakes. We know that. So I think both teams will make mistakes. And that's how I hope it changes it. I mean, the team I want to play tomorrow is going to be a totally different team than Martin picks, because he's going to stick with his players he wants. But I would change it. Oh, my team, I would obviously, a back four would be Jeffrey, Tav, Giger and Aarons. I play Tav at centre back. In middle of the park, we'd have Cameron, Raskin and Raphael. And I have Cortez, Yasama and Dessers.
That's not bad.
I would actually go for it. I would just say we get better players and you want to play football, we want to play football, then let's go toe to toe and see who comes out the best. Don't give them any respect, because Motherwell is going to come and press us like it done last season, because I knew some of the players we had last season mentality was on the deck, and it might still be with some of them. But that's a team I would go with. Make it more comfortable, make the play players in a proper size so they're comfortable receiving the ball and stuff.
Right, I'm going to have a shot this time. I don't normally get a chance to get a team, so I'm going to say, because again, like you, I suppose I think they will be changing. I know Ricky thinks that as well. I think guys like John Suter probably won't play. I actually don't think Aarons will play. I think, as I said earlier on, he played 4 games last season. I think he probably will be. Maybe needing a rest. And as Diomande always needs a rest after a few games, doesn't he? So there's a few guys you think are going to need to come out of the team. So I think I'd Butland, Tav, and Giga, Fernandez, get him in, get him a game. He's a big physical defender. We paid $3 million. Good for this boy. Get him in, get him a game. These are the games you should be playing in. Jeff, as you say, Rothwell, Raskin, maybe by Rami or Cameron. I would play one or the other. I don't really know which one. Isama Dessers has to come back in, doesn't he? Because he's a man. And Cortez, I suppose, as you said, I don't think Mikey Moore will be there. But there's guys then Barron, Curtis, Moore, Cameron, Aaron, Suter, Danilo, Dillon, a lot of players that you could be resting and giving a chance or might make up. So that's mine. I think same as you, 4 or 5 changes. The priority still has to be, they will be shattered after 40-degree heat, and you do need to kind of mix up a little bit. Ricky?
I love both that, boys. I absolutely love how both of you are thinking there. There's none of this same team nonsense, that's for sure. And I would go Kerr. I thought Kerr hacked my phone there, man. I was exactly the same team as me. But
Find your dodgy
I will.
pictures.
Honestly, I'm
You
changing
should
my
see his
password.
phone, Gary. See what he's got on his phone. It's not
Honestly, mate.
naughty,
I know
naughty.
what he was doing in that shed when he was in that shed before he came on live, Gary. He was fishing the Nigerian care. So I am going. No, I'm going the same team as Kerr, but I'm not playing Cortez. I'm playing young Curtis on the right with Gassama and young Curtis on the right. I'm going, but exactly the same team as Kerr. And I think the score line will be 3-1 Rangers.
3-1 Rangers. Scorer.
Scorers, I'll go Dessers. I think Dessers will get a goal. I'll go Curtis and Gassama.
So I've went 3-1 as well. Gassama and Giga, big header, and Dessers.
I'm going 3-2. 3-2. I think it'll be a high scoring games. I think both teams will make defensive errors. So I think 3-2. I think Dessers will get 2 and Rothwell.
Well, he's another one that might will start. I think because he did the press conference, a fair chance he'll start. But he was one of the ones I thought might have rested and moved Raskin back to number 6. But I suppose last question before we finish the pod. Ricky, excited?
Oh, 100%, mate. Buzzing like a kid at Christmas. Like, even for we live abroad and stuff like that, us Bears that live abroad, mate, but it doesn't matter. You're still like Rangers TV is our Ibrox. I wish they would do it up because we've got Tom Miller, but apart from that,
That's I know these things.
Well, we'll be on Sky Sports tomorrow, so you've got a choice between Tom Miller or Chris Boyd and Sutton. Jesus Christ, the choice is brutal, mate. But no, really excited. I mean, you're always excited for the new season. There's nothing better. There's been a lot of good transfers in England this year as well. So, I mean, it's Scottish football always comes back first, and then I think next week is the Championship, and then the week after is the English Premier League. So, it's brilliant to have the football back. Absolutely buzzing for it. Kid at Christmas, mate, and even though it's on late in my time tomorrow, it's I'll be staying up to watch it. And I just hope Rangers, I just hope we get the win. I hope it's a good performance. We don't want to start the season off with negativity and we drop points and Martin's this and he's useless and he's done this. I told you so. That would be so good just to get a nice victory and settle us into the season, Gary. By the way, Celtic is at melting pot 100%. I've been listening to a few neutral pods with the usual PLZ and all that.
Neutral.
They are no, believe me, I wouldn't listen to their pods. They are
He's all one next week.
They're on melting. They're on absolute melting pot. By the way, they're ready to explode because they've not got any new players in before start the season. So it's ready. So it's all there for us. But listen, we spoke about this in past seasons, and we've been useless, and they've just run away with it. So we need to prove that we can have a serious title challenge and be the team that is going out of the first Old Firm game ahead in the league, which would be massive for Martin. So that should be the aim.
And Scott, you, if I remember right, the last season you were a bit doom and gloom anyway because you wanted Philip to come on out before the even season started. So are you excited as the start of the new season tomorrow?
I'm excited tomorrow, Gary, because I'm going to the Atherley Auckland Talbot game before the Rangers game. So I'm going to see Atherley play Talbot. Talbot are sitting top of the league in the juniors, and I just like to say Bobby Barrett plays for Atherley. Not another Rangers podcast sponsor him. So just to let everybody know, so not another Rangers podcast is now about the junior media. So maybe get some more people watching, Gary. You never know. But no, so I'm going to that tomorrow. Head up the road for the Rangers game because obviously I couldn't get a ticket for Ford Park. They want Gold Dust, unless you want to sit in with Motherwell fans. But I'm looking forward to it, Gary. So hope it kills you, as you say, isn't it? But for some reason, I've got a different feeling about this season. And last season, you were right about I wanted to come on sack before the fin. I didn't want him as manager in the first place, but it just lingered and lingered and lingered until he went. So, listen, I don't think anybody really wanted Martin, to be honest, because we didn't really know much about him. We just kind of jumped on the bandwagon for the Italian boy, didn't we? Can't remember his name now, it just slipped my mind there. Ancelotti's son, aye. So we thought, well, Madrid kid and stuff like that. But listen, I think Martin's probably a choice that we've made, and I think we will have to stick with him, even if it's not going. If it goes tits up after 6 weeks, I think we're going to have to stick with him for this season, probably mid next season, and see how he goes. But no, I have to say I'm quite excited and looking forward to this season. But things can quickly change in my brain.
Yeah, and that will happen over the course of the season, quite possibly for us all. And same with myself, I think Martin spoke really well over the last 5-6 weeks. He's grown in a lot of people. I think there's that. But tomorrow is when the real domestic football starts, and we've talked a lot about we need to win the league, so that's all there is to it. So domestic football wins need to happen, goals need to come. I don't actually care that much if we lose odd goal, but we will, as long as it does the style, it plays well, we get goals, and we start off with a comfortable win tomorrow. That takes us into the Pilsen
As
game.
Kevin Keegan always says, I love it if we beat them.
It's a big month. There's about 8 or 9 games potentially over the course of August, which is really make it
Yes.
going, the style. So it does, like you two, it does feel a bit more exciting. Something feels a bit different this season. Now, whether that transpires, we will soon find out over the course.
I think that's down to the owners as well, isn't it? Because they've not had owners
100%.
for a while. And so that's down to them as well. Can that give everybody a bit of impotence, a bit of fresh hope, and new owners, new manager, new players. So we just hope the good feeling continues and it doesn't end up the usual place.
And it feels like a plan, whether the plan works or not, we don't know. It's not been a plan for a few years. It's been bouncing from one thing to the other. It might fail the strategy, but at least we all know what they're trying to do now.
Yeah, Gary, and we knew it was going to take time anyway. I mean, we hope that it's going to be fast and it's going to be, everything's going to fall into place and Martin's football is going to work. But even if it takes time and we can see progress, then fans can get behind it, Say we've come out of the January transfer window and we need 1 or 2 players and we can see, okay, we're a bit short in midfield in the 6, or we're a bit short in the right wing, like this player's not really cutting it, then that can be improved for the second half of the season. But I just, honestly, mate, I'm really excited for the season. I think we need to get behind the manager. I mean, there's no point in just smashing the team with negativity because he plays a player that you want out of position and this out of position and stuff like that. Wait until we lose a few games and then with them you can be negative. But just get behind it. And that freshness is what was needed. We've got a football club again. We're not a bowling club. We weren't even as good as a bowling club. God knows what we've been for the last 10 years. So get behind it and let's go.
And on that rallying cry, that's a perfect way to end tonight's podcast. So game's on tomorrow, 5:30. Hopefully you all enjoy it and get to see it. We will be back on Monday night to look back on hopefully a successful first domestic game of the season and preview the game the following night against Victoria Pilsen. So busy week ahead. We will have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on Monday. Good night.